Hey guys, it's Ramon from Modern. I hope you guys are having a great day. As always, I would totally appreciate it if you'd like, subscribe, and share the channel. Today I have another camera review for you guys. For a while now, have been interested in the Canon 5D Mark IV. The 5D Mark IV is a pretty popular camera. It's been used by wedding photographers, photojournalists, action sports photographers. It's a full frame camera. I was previously an owner of the 5D Mark III, but then upgraded to the EOS R, but have always been interested in the photo quality that comes from the 5D series. And don't get me wrong, the EOS R takes excellent photos. It's just there's something different about the photos that are coming from that 5D series. So because it's the holidays and there are a bunch of deals and bundles and discounts going on for the 5D Mark IV, I decided to rent it out and check it and see if it's worth buying, especially going into 2021. So the Mark IV was released around August of 2016. Right now, as of the time of making this video, it's currently priced around $2,500. And this is pretty much close to a price of the new EOS R6. But on the used market, I've seen the 5D Mark IV go between maybe around $1,800 to $2,000, depending if you could find. They're still really highly coveted, so you're still not going to see like a really big decrease in price like you might for an EOS R. So I wanted to get into some of the things, some of the reasons why you might consider buying a 5D Mark IV. One of the things that has been compared to the EOS R is that the 5D Mark IV has 2 card slots and the EOS R doesn't. However, since then, the new mirrorless cameras that have come out from Canon, the R5 and R6, they have 2 card slots. So there's been some improvement for Canon's mirrorless cameras in that department. I also think, from when I compare photos between the EOS R and the 5D Mark IV, I see kind of like a slightly better image quality. For some reason, they're just, I don't know, maybe it's my personal opinion, but there always seems to be a little bit more dynamic range when using the 5D Mark IV. There's also an intervalometer included that's not just for video, but also photos. If you just wanted to shoot an intervalometer and just have it shoot mainly photos and not video. I'm really curious if this is present in the new R5 and R6, but having the photo option and also the video option means you have a little bit more flexibility. And I believe if you stitch them together, stitch the photos together rather than just use video, it's a little bit more of a higher quality of a time lapse. I also noticed that when shooting the Mark IV, there was less of a lag. Things were a little bit more crisp, there was a little bit more accuracy, and it just felt more reliable when you're shooting something that's moving, or there's just like less of a lag when you're shooting. Overall, I thought the 5D Mark IV felt very fast and more responsive compared to the EOS R. So now I'm going to discuss the following reasons why you might want to skip buying a 5D Mark IV, especially in going into 2021. Number one, I would say there isn't a selfie or fully articulated flip out screen that is now being put in almost every new camera these days. It's a photo camera, so it's specially made for taking photographs, and video is kind of like the secondary type of priority for this camera, but it still would have been nice to have that flexibility. Canon only started implementing that, I think, in most of its full frame cameras when the 6D Mark II came out. So another reasons why you might want to skip buying a 5D Mark IV, it still is a camera that has a 4K crop when you're shooting video. So just like the EOS R, there's going to be a massive 4K crop when you're shooting video. In addition to the massive crop in 4K that the 5D Mark IV has, some of the files on the 5D Mark IV in 4K are pretty big and a little bit difficult. I had difficulty playing them back in my computer, just like opening it up and just playing it back without putting it into a file program like the DaVinci Resolve or Final Cut Pro to make proxies of. That's probably one of the only ways you can like accurately get it to play back effectively. So unless you have a high-end computer, you're probably going to have to open those files up and use some type of proxy software just to make it a little bit more manageable to just play back those files and edit those files. The 5D Mark IV it's a DSLR. It's an old school DSLR, so it's not mirrorless. And because of that, you can't take advantage of using EF-S lenses on this body like you could do on a mirrorless body like the Canon mirrorless bodies. It also means you can't take advantage of the newer lenses that are coming out for the RF mounts. So all those new, nice, great, image stabilized and feature rich lenses that are coming out for the RF platform, you can't use it on the 5D Mark IV. Another drawback to buying this camera going into the new year is that eye autofocus is going to be missing when you're shooting portraits. Again, it's older technology, so it's going to be missing some of the features that you'd find on the newer Canon mirrorless cameras. So another drawback is after using the EOS R for almost nearly a year and then renting the 5D Mark IV, I just realized how much heavier the old-fashioned DSLR body is. It's old-fashioned. The controls are nice, but it's still a heavy thing to carry around for an entire day. So to wrap up, some of my final thoughts about the 5D Mark IV is that if you're looking for a traditional photo-specific camera to use, the 5D Mark IV is perfect. It's durable. It's got fabulous ergonomics. It feels like a tremendous, it feels like a traditional camera body. Everything is spaced appropriately. And I really feel like the camera produces some really excellent images. However, if you plan on shooting kind of a hybrid type of form of work, such as you plan on doing some video in addition to photography, I would say to probably skip this and go on to the Canon's newest mirrorless camera bodies. But if you know you're going to be strictly sticking to photography, yeah, the 5D Mark IV can't be beat. As I noted towards the beginning of this video, a lot of industry professional creatives, photographers, they rely on the 5D Mark IV, from weddings to photojournalism to commercials to commercial to sports. It's a really well-regarded camera body. So finally, I would like to say thank you for joining me in today's episode. If you own the 5D Mark IV, please let me know your thoughts, whether you think it's something that would make a lot of sense going into 2021. Also, if you enjoyed this episode, as always, please like, subscribe, and share the channel. Thank you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one.